Atlanta-based Home Depot says it had no choice but to destroy £1 million worth of merchandise after hurricanes damaged its store in the Virgin Islands. Channel 2's investigative reporter Nicole Carr traveled there to look into the company's decision. And Nicole, the Home Depot admits it destroyed items that could have been used to rebuild.
Right. Home Depot says they had no time to sort through it and there were no options for them in the hurricane aftermath. It's an explanation that hasn't set well with many survivors and at least one legal expert.
Your Home Depot, do you understand? You sell all the tools that is needed to fix Home Depot.
From social media to the survivors on the ground.
That was the easiest thing to do. Was it the best thing? No. I don't think that was ever the best thing.
There's been plenty of debate over Atlanta-based Home Depot in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
There was the concern of, right, you've got all this usable material, you've got a lot of people that are hurting.
We traveled there at the end of the year to examine hurricane recovery efforts and learned about the company's decision to dump 500 tons of merchandise into the St. Thomas landfill after the island's store rooftop was water damaged by back-to-back hurricanes.
Did that make sense to you that it was not usable stuff?
That was out of my hands, way over my head. I understand insurance purposes for the business, liability with mold and other stuff, so that's what they had to do, but I couldn't, that was out of my control.
Home Depot's statement to Channel 2 Action News expressed having their hands tied for legal and liability reasons. With pressure to reopen that store, a spokesman tells me there just wasn't any time to sort through the inventory to separate the usable material from the water-damaged material. He added manufacturers have restrictions on resales after natural disasters, so they decided to file insurance claims on the entire store, crushing everything in there. This at a time when federal assistance can be hard to come by between the islands and a much larger Puerto Rico.
Unfortunately, when something like that happens, we have to compete for resources.
The island's Good Samaritan law seemed like a decent avenue to explore, according to a legal opinion published on this island attorney's website. The author points out civil liability could have been skirted with an opinion from the island's attorney general. So when we asked the company about that part of it, if they'd explored that as an option, they didn't answer directly but referred us to their statement, which you can read in full on WSB-TV.com, along with this two-part video investigation and more details on the story. We're live in Cobb County. Nicole Carr, Channel 2 Action News.
Nicole, do you know if the Virgin Islands location is open now, and is there stuff inside that people can use to help rebuild?
Right. So St. Croix, that store didn't sustain a lot of damage. That remained open. On St. Thomas, and we were there in December, it had opened 2 months earlier, but look, you've got people in need of supplies. It was like a limited opening. They would get things on the shelf and then they would come right off the shelf. I mean, people were in there to buy it immediately, so they're not fully restocked. And, you know, that's just an issue with the ports and bringing things in. So there's a long way to go in all of these places. We know that. Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, it's slow moving when it comes to getting supplies there.
Absolutely. Okay. Nicole, reporting from Cobb County. Thank you.